Happy Friday, everybody from BoyleSports. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. And last weekend's bank holiday in England, of course. It's international break, so a little bit more thought goes into this one than the Premier League that keeps coming round week in and week out. Who's been picked? Who hasn't been picked? Who's been left out? Who's retired? Are usually the tales of the day. So let's have a look at England first. I was going to drive out to Slovakia this week with BoyleSports, but I'll be doing it later on in the season. 1,000-mile drive there, 1,000-mile drive back. Everybody knows that I'm a passionate England fan, as well as being a broadcaster and broadcasting on England for the last 8 or 9 years. I take my flag with me wherever we go. I've done it in Germany 2006, did it in Portugal in 2004. So I was going to go out and give Sam Allardyce and the boys my support, but unfortunately couldn't this weekend due to commitments. But let's have a little look at the three lions first. I think that for me, Sam Allardyce needs to go with a bold, exciting, youthful formation, one that's simple for the players to understand. Of course, many of them in their clubs will play 4-2-3-1. I would quite happily see a 4-4-2. Clubs in Europe are now doing it. You know, Atletico Madrid aren't averse to playing 4-4-2 occasionally, as are some La Liga clubs and some Serie A clubs. So for me, when you have a situation with a manager that is formulaic, it is going to be about getting the best out of individuals and best out of the collective. Give them something simple to think about, and that for me would be 4-4-2. Who would my two strikers be? Well, that one's fairly simple. It would be Harry Kane and it would be Daniel Sturridge. Lots of debate on Daniel Sturridge recently. Something that I've written about extensively. I met the lad last year on a train, had a train journey down from Liverpool, and had a really good hour and a half with him. For me, at Manchester City, played out of position too often. For me, at Chelsea, played out of position too often. For me, at Liverpool, now starting to be played out of position too often. Where's Daniel Sturridge's best position? You tell me. Shout it at the screen. Yes, I agree. A number 9 in the box. Fox in the box scores goals. One big one, Harry Kane. One littler one in Daniel Sturridge. Get them training with each other, playing with each other, developing and understanding. One of the things, if we're going to go back to English football in basics, by the way, there is nothing wrong with that. Look at the way that Wales played and the Republic of Ireland played and Northern Ireland played in the Euros. Passion, belief, tempo, aggression, which are the yin to the technical yang of the Spaniards, etc., etc. So play two up top, two wide men. Who have we got on the wide right now? Mikel Antonio, no less. Perhaps as close to an English version of Tony Valencia from 5 or 6 years ago that England could possibly have. We've tried Lennon, we've tried Walcott, we've tried the speedsters that don't have the footballing brain. Let's try somebody now that's got really good physicality, that can understand maybe right back, right wing, and joining in with a central striker. So that's that position. In central midfield, Eric Dyer and Dele Alli for me. Over on the left is a little bit more of a quandary, but let's go back to the strikers. If Sam Allardyce decides that he's going to have a strike partnership, decide on who it is now. Don't mess around with Sturridge trying him on the left or the right of a 3. Hasn't worked. Likewise, Harry Kane, don't drop him deeper. He has to be the pivot, he has to be the 9. Wayne Rooney as captain's going to play. I don't think personally he should be playing. But I'm happy to go with Sam Allardyce on this one. Our most, goal scoring, who scored the most goals in international football for England? I was going to say most trophied. Probably is most trophied as well. That's an Americanism. But for me, Daniel Sturridge, Harry Kane, play them as a partnership right the way through. You could play, if you're playing wing backs, for example, 3 centre halves. You could still play 2 forwards. You could still put Wayne Rooney in a midfield area. So for me, Daniel Sturridge and Harry Kane are the future. Slovakia, of course, we played in the Euros. Again, another disappointing performance for the Three Lions that helped us limp through the group to eventually be knocked out by Iceland. I think we will go there and get a point. It's reminiscent of the last qualification where we played arguably our most difficult game first, which was Switzerland away. We won the game, perhaps more comfortably than a lot of people thought. So for me, I'm going to go for, I'll take a point now, 1-1. New team, new motivation, new manager. I think that it's going to be Slovakia 1, England 1. I'm on fire, by the way, in terms of my predictions recently. Zlatan for a brace, absolutely nailed it. You want 50 quid's worth of free bets? Of course you do. All you need to do is go to BoyleSports.com/STAN. Stan, come on!